Good morning and welcome to the regular meeting of City Council for Monday, November 14th, 2022. Would the clerk please take the roll call?
Reverend Burgess.
Here.
Mr. Coghill. Ms. Gross.
Here.
Mr. Kraus. Mr. Lavelle.
Here.
Mrs. Strasburger.
Here.
Mr. Wilson.
Here.
Mrs. Kale-Smith, President.
Here.
6 members present.
Thank you. As we join from our remote locations and in person, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance if you're able, and remain standing if you're able for a moment of silence. Thank you. Do you want to give a moment of silence for Celeste? Scott, do you want to say that, please?
Madam President, if you wouldn't mind, we could all do a moment of silence for Celeste Scott, our housing organizer who's led us so far in housing justice in the city of Pittsburgh.
Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, please be seated. In accordance with the Home Rule Charter, our first order of business will be Mayor Ed Gainey's 2023 budget address. May I have Councilwoman Gross and Councilman Lavelle escort Mayor Gainey into chambers? Where's our camera people? Kim, that's not the right hand. We'll now have Mayor Gainey present his budget for 2023. This is his first budget address. Good luck, Mayor Gainey, and thank you for your work.
First of all, good morning, everybody. How you doing? Good morning, good morning. I want to first thank City Council President Teresa Kale-Smith, Finance Chair Councilman Lavelle, and all the entire City Council. Over the past 10 and a half months, my administration has been working hard each and every day to serve the people of the city. We have made a commitment to create a learning culture in every department, and that we would do all we can to make our city, our great city, into the safest, most welcoming, and thriving city in America. I stand before you today to say that the city of Pittsburgh is resilient, strong, and ready to face the challenges ahead. I know we can meet those challenges and rise above them because in my first year in office, I have seen us do it time and time again. This is the story of Pittsburgh, a city that has reinvented itself, a city of resilience, of overcoming the impossible, a city filled with people who pick each other up and care for each other every single day, a city who still built our country, whose workers organized together to build an American, not the first, but an American middle-class city. And now we're building the tech that is going to take people to the moon with a transition in our city. We might be a city of 90 different neighborhoods, but we are one city, one community, and together we can accomplish anything. This budget we have prepared is balanced and invests in restoring core government services to our residents. Over the next 5-year projection on these investments we make today are not just investments we can afford, but they are investments that will keep us financially solvent into the future. We have begun the process of creating a new foundation that will benefit our city for generations to come. We would like to stop here and be thankful for the hard work of our predecessors who brought us out of Act 47 in order to return Pittsburgh to the global city it once was. When I entered office, I made a promise to keep transparency and engagement at the forefront of my administration. I am proud to say that I believe this budget process accomplished this commitment. We are looking forward to continue our transparency work with our Department of Innovation and Performance to publish an annual data governance report for the city with new open data sets so residents can see the metrics of our success. This year, the Office of Budget and Management, with help from the Neighborhood Service Team and the Department of Innovation and Performance, hosted 10 public meetings utilizing online survey and other digital tools to capture opinions and ideas for city projects from our public. The information and feedback we obtained during this process was invaluable. These meetings informed the final budget you see before you today. We had a historic engagement in our budget process, including a 500% increase in utilization of our online surveys through our Engage PGH platform. Residents were clear in their priorities for our capital budget, and this is the feedback we received. The number one priority was infrastructure, number one. This was also reflective in the survey that was distributed with more than 400 requests for complete street projects. With the collapse of the Fern Hollow Bridge, less than 30 days into entering office, my administration learned firsthand the critical investment that was needed for our city's infrastructure. Residents also prioritized environment, housing, physical mobility, and equity. I'm proud to say that this budget before you reflects significant investment in these areas. Since the beginning of my term, I have spent a lot of time listening to our residents, civic leaders, and city employees about how they see our city and our shared values. I tasked myself and my department directors to review their budgets and find ways to enhance our city's safety that makes us more welcoming and find investments that help our citizens thrive. When we invest in rebuilding our city's critical infrastructure, we are investing in making sure that our neighborhoods are safe. We are proposing the creation of a new bridge maintenance unit to care for the bridges that we already have, as well as new units that will allow us to rapidly develop plans to rehabilitate our bridges or design new ones when we need them. We also engage in a review of our city-owned bridges. The report of our bridge asset management program is being finalized this week and will be released to the public in the near future. We are also engaged in a review of our city-owned bridges. And when we review these bridges, we will prioritize exactly which ones are in conditions that need service and which ones are good. You will receive this report. We all know that climate change is having a growing impact on our city. The increase in heavier rainstorms is leading to more frequent landslides. And that's why we were investing in creating new walls and slope units within the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure, so we can be proactive in our work in keeping our neighbors safe. Our Department of Mobility and Infrastructure has taken on the responsibility of keeping our citizens safe as they drive, walk, and bike to work or school each day. Next year, they plan to continue this great work with more traffic calming projects, more smart intersection designs, and making sure our bridges are maintained and cared for. Our budget is both an investment in improving core city services and improving the efficiency of local government. And we firmly believe that this leads to a safer city for all of us. We are investing an additional $4 million in staffing and equipment in the Department of Public Works to dramatically increase our capacity to respond to snowstorms and overcome a backlog of maintenance of vacant lots, public spaces in the summer. This year, DPW has piloted neighborhood blight reduction techniques in underserved neighborhoods across our city. This includes expanding litter can locations, utilizing data to better understand best litter collection strategies, and reconstructing sidewalks on city-owned lots. As you know, public safety has been one of our most important issues we have taken on as an administration. Since coming into office, I met with rank and file officers from every zone in the city of Pittsburgh. And this was very important. I believe as the mayor that you should go to every zone in this city, every police zone, and be with our police force and hear from them and talk to them about what they see. We are proud of the fact that we are moving forward with the expansion of our Reach Out on the Streets Roots program with the Office of Community Health and Safety and the Office of Violence Prevention to bring needed services and violence intervention into every public safety zone in the city. Over the past several weeks, we have been engaged in a robust community conversation around what values and qualities we want in our next chief of police. We will engage in a local and national search to find the next leader of the Pittsburgh Bureau of Police. And next year will mark the first time in 2 years that we will be bringing on a new police recruit. We have 2 coming on, a veteran, and new recruits. This is the first time in 2 years that we're doing that. We want our police department to look just like our city. I would like to thank all the officers that shared with us their ideas for the Pittsburgh Bureau of Police. Your ideas helped inform our decision about changing credit requirements for the academy. We changed them. Y'all should clap for that. We are investing in new swiftwater rescue equipment to be prepared for flooding events and upgrading our 10-year-old self-contained breathing apparatus in order to protect the lives of our fire, EMS, and other first responders who work in hazardous conditions. Thank you to all the first responders. Thank you. I will never forget the day the Fern Hollow Bridge happened and how you created a human chain in order to carry those that were injured. And for that service, that dedicated service, I appreciate you. This budget reinforces our commitment to making Pittsburgh the safest city in America. And that means keeping the people who work for the city safe as well. Earlier this year, we launched a new pilot program to document in real time the safety concerns of frontline workers and working with them to provide real-time solutions to critical safety incidents in order to keep them safe at work. This new real-time safety system program has been rolled out in the Department of Public Works and is currently being implemented in permits, licensing, and inspections. We are allocating funding for a new investigator in the Office of Municipal Investigations who will be focused on building a safe and welcoming workplace for city employees by investigating allegations of discrimination, harassment, and retaliation. Celebrating the diversity of our great city is key to making sure that Pittsburgh is welcoming and opening to do business for everyone. Everyone should feel that this city is open to do business, and we are. Removing barriers to those who wish to do business with the city government is critical to making a thriving city. To that end, we are funding a new disparity study in order to update, refine, and expand the city's goals for inclusion of MWBE vendors in our city's procurement practice. This has not been done for over 20 years. Our Office of Business Diversity has exceeded their yearly goals for their work. In one session alone, we signed up 60 new diverse small businesses to do business here in the city of Pittsburgh. Creating these opportunities for our small, diverse business means more jobs for our residents and new opportunities for growth of our local economy. If we want to create lasting change for our community, then we need to start by ensuring that there is a seat at the table for communities who have been ignored for far too long. When we read the gender equity report, we knew that we needed to do more to uplift black women in this city. This is why we launched our Black Women Vision for Quality of Life initiative. This work is centered on the lived experience, expertise, and the vision of black women across this city. We should not be making policy decisions that are about black women without having black women at the table to guide our priorities and our values. This work is about making long-term equitable investments that improve the lives of black women throughout this city, and not just a short-term pot of money that will serve a small fraction of them. We want this table of black women leaders to work with us and hold us accountable as partners to create systematic change so every black woman in this city believes they can thrive right here. I'm proud of the fact that I have put together the most diverse administration in the history of our great city. More voices from impacted communities means we will be able to serve all of our city. Equity is a fundamental to being a welcoming city and should be a core value for all 3,300 plus city workers every day. And it cannot be the role or work of one person or one office. Bringing government to the people is one of the priorities for our Office of Immigrant and Refugee Affairs. This year, they have been bringing government to the people while training over 800 officers on cross-cultural competency. Having equitable access to open green space, parks, recreation opportunity is one of the many ways to make our city more welcoming for everyone. We also need to do the work of caring for our parks, and we are making the robust investments in obtaining tools and resources to care for them while embarking on new projects for parks all across our city. Like many departments in our city, Parks and Recreation Department is undergoing a transformation in order to best serve our city. This reorganization into 4 program areas will help us focus our work and bring efficiency to these critical city services. It also means transferring the maintenance of our city pools to create one integrated aquatics team. We are proposing new positions in our city parks departments in order to provide new opportunities for organized sports for our children. Giving our children access to new opportunities for organized sports and programs is a critical part for our plan for peace. We also recognize that our frontline city park staffs are an invaluable community asset and resource. We are investing in them by proposing increase to their salaries, as currently they are among the lowest paid members of our workforce. A thriving Pittsburgh means creating new opportunities for people and having good paying jobs, access to new pathways to prosperity, and affordable homes for us to live in. Our budget includes a phased increase in the Housing Opportunity Fund. The critical support for affordable housing development helps build more affordable housing while preserving the long-term affordability in neighborhoods across our city. I want to stop here and thank Celeste Scott, who passed away recently. She was an advocate for affordable housing. This is how she spent her life, fighting to ensure that everybody has an affordable home. So I just want to stop and thank her for the legacy of her work, because I think her work speaks volumes, particularly in the environment we're in today. Thank you, Celeste. We are also looking to propose a new bond in order to develop more affordable housing for people in our great city. Access to fresh food in every neighborhood in Pittsburgh is a priority for our administration. We are proposing $3 million in seed money to begin to address food insecurity, so we can look for ways that we can scale up and look for ways that we can scale up our existing programs to serve more people. When we invest in creating strong workforce development pipelines that connects Pittsburgh Public School students to jobs across every sector in our economy, we invest in a stronger, more robust Pittsburgh for businesses. We are preparing the future leaders of our city with our new Pittsburgh's Pathways to Prosperity program, with Pittsburgh Public Schools and are requesting new funding for Pittsburgh Public School students that have paid internships through our Prepare to Prosper initiative launched earlier this year. We believe that we just can't talk about what we do for our children, we got to show them. And so this new program will have paid internships working in the mayor's office and throughout the city to show them about civic government. That right there, you should clap for. We also launched the new Youth Civic Leadership Academy, where Pittsburgh Public School students right now, are learning about their local government while earning college credits and earning a small stipend to further their financial empowerment education. That's major. This work would not have been possible without the partnership from Pittsburgh Public Schools, the president of the Heinz History Museum, Andy Messick, executive director of Youth Enrichment Service, Dr. Dennis Jones, CEO of Partner for Works, Rob Cherry, and president of CCAC, Dr. Quentin Bullock. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for your commitment to our children. I would also like to thank Superintendent Wayne Walters. You know, coming into my administration, I said it's important that we have a relationship with Pittsburgh Public Schools. And we focused on that. And we made that happen. And I want to thank Superintendent Wayne Walters and CTE Executive Director Angela Mike for helping us to create a strong partnership with Pittsburgh Public Schools. Our renewed partnership with PPS will have a lasting impact for generations to come. We are also seeking new funding for additional talent recruiters to proactively seek out qualified candidates for city employment, so all Pittsburghers have access to city jobs. I want to thank our human resource and civil service departments. If you're here, can you just stand for a minute? I just want to thank you. If you're here, just stand for us. I just want to thank you. They have been critical partners in our work to rebuild our partnership with the Pittsburgh Public Schools, and we appreciate you. They have been working to identify areas where we can eliminate barriers to employment, such as no longer requiring driver's license to serve as a crossing guard. I want to stop here again and thank Ms. Wilder. One, I want to pray for her and her family for the tragedy that happened in Hazelwood. I want to thank her for pointing out that in order to be a crossing guard, you had to have license. And that's why we removed that. And that's what I mean when I talk about community working together. Us working together to create better policies that impact the city. Ms. Wilder, I'm praying for you and your family, and I thank you. And to the Hazelwood Initiative, thank you. Thank you for making safety a priority. We appreciate the feedback we got from you, and we thank you for that. In order to rebuild our city and create new opportunities for growth, we must modernize our work in zoning and development to increase staff capacity and accelerate reviews in the planning department. We are also making key investments to fully implement the one-stop permitting program. One of the foundation principles in my life and in my administration is to serve the people. In order to improve core city services, response time, and save taxpayer dollars, we are embarking on a reorganization of departments to maximize our ability to serve. Our Office of Neighborhood Service within the mayor's office will be the new home of 311. By working together, community engagement and resident service, we will be able to improve on the complaints that we get, and we will be able to work together to resolve them quickly. This small and mighty team has been on the front line of serving our residents. They meet regularly with over 80 different community groups each month, and together have responded to thousands of questions from residents and resolved over 70% of the residents' concern during the initial intake process. For y'all that know me, y'all know customer service is very important, and we will continue to get better every day. And that's why we are making these mergers and with 311 into the mayor's office through neighborhood service. The new merger with 311 will be working together with the Department of Innovation and Performance to update the way we route service requests in order to improve our work responding to constituent requests. Our Office of Communication within the mayor's office will now be the home of the City Channel, our print shop and website team. By combining these departments, we will work more effectively and have better communication with our residents in the city, and they will be able to know exactly more of what city government is doing. I want to thank the city of Pittsburgh. I want to thank City Council. I want to thank all of you. Because I've said from day one that no one administration, no one person can do this by themselves. We can't do it without you. We can't. This is our city. This is the city we love. And only when we work together can we change things. And that's just not a topic of conversation. That's a historical context of what we've done in the past to continue to transform and reinvent ourselves. We have a lot of challenges, and I'm happy we do. If you don't have a problem, then you don't have a promise. So the problems that we have working together, we can turn into a promise of a better tomorrow. That's why we get up every day to do this job. Since March to November, my administration have engaged with our citizen 297 times. We've held more meetings of production than I believe this city has ever seen. And I want to thank my team, because you are the spirit that says we're going to go get it every single day. And every day, that's what you do. You see us everywhere, not just showing up with just empty hands, but showing up with promises of how we can make a better tomorrow. I would like for my whole team to stand up. All of them. Stand up. All departments, stand up. And I would like for each one of you to stand up and give them a standing ovation for the work they've done in 10 months. Let me be clear, from the Fern Hollow Bridge to dealing with how we dealt with how we reform our police, to Oakland's crossings, to the Martin Oakland Express, to the Jim Rogers situations, to the violence we're seeing, to the homelessness. This is in 10 months that we have tackled every issue. We have not kicked the can down the road at all. Every issue that has come up, we have faced it as a team. We have did a diligent job, and it's because of you that I thank you for making a difference in this city. Let's give them a standing ovation. City of Pittsburgh, let's go get it.
Thank you, Mayor Gainey. We're also joined by Councilwoman-elect Barb Warwick. Thank you, Barb. Okay, thank you again, Mayor Gainey. Our council budget hearings will begin this Wednesday, November 16th at 10 a.m. Our next order of business, should we take a break first? Okay. Can I have a motion to recess this meeting, and then we'll come back and regroup?
Second.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Meeting's Recessed. Good morning. We are resuming council's regular meeting for Monday, November 14th, 2022, following Mayor Gainey's budget address. And our next order of business is to amend the agenda. Is there a motion to amend the agenda?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Agenda is amended. Thank you. Our next order of business is the presentation of proclamations, and we have one to be presented in person by Councilman Wilson. Councilman Wilson?
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Do you want guests to come forward?
Right. Good morning, everyone. I wanted to bring the Brothers Foundation in the City Council today for all their great work that they've been doing and present them the proclamation that we put together here. Just give me 1 second. I'd like to read the proclamation first, then I'm going to give a few comments, and I just think it'd be a good time to talk about all the great work that an organization like Brothers does. So whereas the Brothers Foundation, BBF, okay,
BBF.
yeah, located on Pittsburgh's north side, so they're located right in Allegheny West, has been an instrumental force in promoting health equity in Pittsburgh, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the United States of America, and beyond since 1958. And whereas the Ukraine Relief Fund, started by the BBF, has raised $3.3 million in funding to provide medical supplies, medications, and prosthetics, as well as on-the-ground mental health programs and rehabilitation care in collaboration with BBF's partnerships with neurologists and hospital systems in the United States and Ukraine. And whereas the financial support and partnerships of BBF have most recently led to the increased support of Ukrainian refugees in need of medical care, both abroad through the opening of the Center for Mental and Psychosocial Support in Lithuania, and in the United States. Through the support of the wounded Ukrainian soldiers, through the Operation Renew prosthetics of Ukrainian soldiers, and whereas the mobilization efforts of the Pittsburgh community in support of Ukraine have manifested in school drives in Dormont and Sewickley, and a partnership between BBF and the City of Pittsburgh kicked off an 11-day drive that resulted in a collection and distribution of over 5,000 hygiene kits for the Ukrainian refugees. So now, therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh declares Monday, November 14th, 2022, to be Brothers Foundation Day here in our city of Pittsburgh.
Is there a motion to approve in a second?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Proclamation is approved. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks for your vote.
So I just wanted to thank you, and I just wanted to thank City Council for approving this. I think it's just so important to recognize our local groups that really have stepped it up, not only during the pandemic, but also just whenever there is a crisis in the world, that Pittsburgh, it's, in terms of Ozzy, what you've been able to do and what you've been able to support has been incredible, especially with working with all the partners to get those supplies really into the battlefield in Ukraine during these times. But also, their organization is also right in line with and really leading the way for companies in Pittsburgh in terms of energy use and also being a partner in the community for the way people use energy. Their whole, I mean, you could probably talk more eloquently about this than I can, but from my understanding, the whole building is powered by the solar panels that were installed. So I appreciate your commitment to that cause. And also, there also are charging stations that have been installed, and anyone is free to use them, right? Right. Yeah. So I at this time, I think it'd be great to have Ozzie Samad come up, and if you're able to, if you'd like to make some comments, that'd be fantastic.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Councilman.
Yeah, and I really want to just thank you for all the incredible work that you've been doing.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having us. I'd first like to say we could not be more appreciative of the city of Pittsburgh and its residents for all the support that we've received. And that's what enables us to help everybody both here in our own neighborhood and around the world. Some of the things that we're doing locally, I think that are most important to the city, in collaboration with a couple of the major healthcare systems, we have initiated a mobile eye clinic, which is going to different underserved communities, so people can be helped in terms of the vision and diabetes screening. And in terms of the solar panels, we are very proud to have actually be getting our energy from the sun, as the saying goes. So, there are a number of things that BBF is proud to be able to do, but as I mentioned, the thing most important to us is being a part of the city of Pittsburgh and being on the north side. So, Councilman, we couldn't be more appreciative, and thank you to everybody here for having us. Tom Wentling is our board chair, who has been an amazing supporter for us over the years, and if it's okay, I'd like him just to say a couple of words, Councilman, if that's good with you. Tom? My pleasure.
Morning, everyone. Thank you very much for this honor. It really it means an awful lot to us. I just want to say what a joy it has been for me to work with Ozzie Samad over the last 2 years. He's had an unbelievable impact on Brother's Brother, and it's just a joy for me to work with him. He's a tremendous leader. A bunch of our team are in the back of the room there, and I would just say that pound for pound, I think the Brother's Brother team, largely assembled by Ozzie, I would put them up against anybody anywhere. We do an incredible job, and I just would have to say it's Ozzie Samad and his leadership that's made all this happen. So thank you very much, City of Pittsburgh.
Thank you, Tom and Ozzie. I think at this time we're going to do a little photo op here to celebrate. If Chris
What, members?
and members, would you like to join? Yep. Thanks.
Can I just say, Councilman Wilson, everyone knows how critical I am of a lot of organizations and nonprofits, but this is one I actually donate to. So they do such great work, so thank you. Thank you. When I can, not rich. Tell him, Eric, we're going to. Okay. Yeah. No, I just, we're doing
So if you'd have liked to please do come over. Yeah, let's go.
Thank you. And our next order, I'm sorry, we have four proclamations to be read into the record, Madam Clerk. Could you just read all four of them at the same time, please?
Bill 970. Council President Smith presents, be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Saturday, November 12th, to be Anthony Randazzo Day in the City of Pittsburgh. Bill 971. Council President Smith also presents, be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Saturday, November 12th, 2022, to be David Moses Day in the City of Pittsburgh. Bill 972. Council President presents, be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Saturday, November 12th, 2022, to be Nicholas Roma Day in the City of Pittsburgh. And Bill 973, Council President presents, now therefore be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh,
Can I have a motion to approve in a second? In a second? All in favor? Aye. Proclamations are approved. Thank you, thank you, Madam Clerk. And our next order of business is public comment. And I would like to remind everyone that the rules of council state that comments are limited to matters of concern, official action, or deliberation which are or may be before city council. Threats and profanity will not be permitted. May we have the first speaker, please? And the first registered speaker I have is Dr. Ronald Lynn Miller. Dr. Miller?
Public comment. We believe that these are the holy grail of contemporary U.S. Republican democracy. Global Intelligence Society National U.S. Candidate for President 2024, globalintelligencesociety.org. I and the Global Intelligence Society position is that the legislature, we the people, is over the executive and judiciary. That the U.S. National Congress legislature is the least important and the local legislature is the most important. A concern of council, the local legislature of the city of Pittsburgh, is clearly the rules of council, ROC, as the Yellow Pages 9 November 2022 for ROC changes show. Did you all write this stuff? Some citizens do not want you to change the ROC subsection on public comment, but I do. It will be a joy. One side, subtract the entire subsection and substitute, quote, council permits the uncensored exercise of the civil right of freedom of speech and public comment for 5 minutes. You do not agree? I'll take that to be that you do not agree. And if you do not, then you want to fetter or imprison free speech. So I can't come to no other conclusion that council permits or will permit censorship of freedom of speech and public comment at Pittsburgh City Council meetings. The other side is to add constraints, conditions, enforcement provisions, which also censor freedom of speech and public comment. In every court case, some lawyers win and some lawyers do not. Your, in my view, yellow legal pad bound harem of lawyers writing under your name will subvert freedom of speech and public comment. No joke. Our gold law lance work for the legal right, might for right knights will serve writs to certify public comment freedom of speech. Let's just. Another concern of comment is to offer opportunity for both consent and dissent in council meetings. You at least stay. Mr. Gainey and his crew left. They don't want dissent. That's my view. That is the view of thousands of Pittsburghers. So what we are after is to look at every paragraph, under the subsection public comments, every line, every word, to see whether it's pro or anti-constitutionality regarding the U.S. Constitution Amendment 1 and the Pennsylvania Constitution and U.S. Supreme Court decisions. Let's gather around the table, boys and girls, and give thanks for the law and our legislature.
Our next speaker is Marcia Bandis. Please, thank you.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Marcia Bandes. I live in Squirrel Hill, and I'm the chairwoman for the Pittsburgh for CEDAW Coalition. CEDAW is the acronym for the UN Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. In December of 2016, with the unanimous support of the City Council, a gender equity ordinance was passed that requires the city to hire an executive director of gender equity and to establish a gender equity commission of 13 volunteer commissions to execute a citywide intersectional gender analysis. The purpose was to verify and/or identify gender equity challenges that women and girls face in Pittsburgh and to identify and oversee actions to address those challenges as an ongoing effort. I see that there was funding available in 2022 that was never used. Why not? But don't see any for 2023. Many of you are aware of the gender analysis published in 2019 that did not show Pittsburgh in a very good light. What you may not know is that gender analysis was only part one. It's quantitative, based on census and other publicly available data. It was meant to establish a baseline, but it is not intersectional. Publicly available data does not provide the needed insight about our diverse city. Part two, not funded, was intended to incorporate that intersectionality by surveying people with disabilities, LGBTQIA+, Hispanic and Muslim communities, etc., as well as various income levels and neighborhoods, not just to validate that our findings are what is most important to address their communities' challenges, but also what services they believe would be most helpful. Part 3 and 4 of the gender analysis were to develop tailored solutions based on the input and take it to city departments to educate them on what the Gender Equity Commission has learned and ask them to scour their budgets and programs for the ways to address the women's and girls' and gender equity needs, trans and gender equity needs. This is especially important with the new programs that Mayor Gainey and the government are rolling out. I need someone to show me where in the budget is the money allocated for the full-time executive director for the Gender Equity Commission for 2023, as required in Ordinance 2016-0905, Section 177C.02, which says that the city shall also create and fund a Gender Equity Commission with an executive director to study discrimination against all women, including intersectional discrimination and including trans women, and to identify gender equity problems in the city of Pittsburgh and advise each department in the development of an action plan to address equity disparities identified by the gender analysis. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next registered speaker is Matt Mahoney. Matt Mahoney. Is Matt online? Okay, we need you to unmute, Matt. Thank you. Nope, still muted. Matt, we need you to unmute yourself, please. Last time, Matt Mahoney. We'll go on to unregistered speakers. Is there any unregistered speakers in the audience wishing to address City Council? If so, please approach the podium. Are there any unregistered speakers wishing to address City Council? Seeing none, I'm going to go back to Matt Mahoney one more time. Matt Mahoney, you're online, but we need you to unmute yourself so we can hear you. Matt Mahoney. Okay, seeing no further speakers, we'll go on to our next order of business. Keep checking. Our next order of business is the presentation of papers, and we'll begin with Councilman Reverend Ricky Burgess, Chair of Urban Recreation.
Madam President.
Thank you.
Reverend Burgess presents Bill Number 958, Resolution providing for an agreement or agreements with the Pittsburgh Board of Public Education or another vendor chosen through the city bid process for the purpose of providing meals in connection with the 2022-2023 food service program in the Department of Parks and Recreation, cost not to exceed $900,000. And Bill Number 976, Resolution authorizing the mayor and the directors of the Departments of Finance and Mobility and Infrastructure to enter into an agreement or agreements with contracts pursuant to the Act of October 29, 2020, with the municipality of Penn Hills and/or Tamian Enterprises to provide for the maintenance of East Hills Drive.
Thank you. And Councilman Coghill, Chair of Public Works.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman Coghill presents Bill Number 959, Resolution providing for an agreement or agreements with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for costs associated with the construction phase of the Sylvan Avenue Multimodal Path Project, providing for the payment of the cost not to exceed $1 million. This resolution serves to authorize only the reimbursement agreement at no cost to the City of Pittsburgh. Future resolutions will authorize the project-specific service agreements. Bill Number 960, Resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Public Works and/or the director of the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure to enter into a license agreement for a period of 5 years with 2 5-year renewal options in which the city grants to Allegheny Goatscape a right to utilize grazing goats upon particular city property and/or right-of-way in specified locations citywide. Bill Number 966, Resolution further amending Resolution Number 772 of 2016, effective January 1, 2017, as amended, entitled, Resolution adopting and approving the 2017 capital budget and the 2017 Community Development Block Grant Program, approving the 2017 through 2022 capital improvement program by reducing facility improvements, recreation, and senior centers by $3,773.52 and increasing complete streets by $3,773.52. Bill Number 967, Resolution further amending Resolution Number 797 of 2017, effective December 28, 2017, as amended, entitled, Resolution adopting and approving the 2018 capital budget and the 2018 Community Development Block Grant Program and the 2018 through 2023 Capital Improvement Program by reducing park reconstruction by $30,855.41 and increasing complete streets by $30,855.41. Bill Number 968, Resolution further amending Resolution Number 863 of 2018, effective January 1, 2019, as amended, entitled, Resolution adopting and approving the 2019 capital budget and the 2019 Community Development Block Grant Program and the 2019 through 2024 Capital Improvement Program by reducing facility improvements, sports facilities, by $5,328.10 and increasing complete streets by $5,328.10. And Bill Number 969, Resolution further amending Resolution Number 840 of 2019, effective January 1, 2020, as amended, entitled, Resolution adopting and approving the 2020 capital budget and the 2020 Community Development Block Grant Program and the 2020 through 2025 Capital Improvement Program by reducing play area improvements by $8,832.52 and increasing complete streets by $8,832.52.
Thank you. And Councilwoman Gross, Chair of Intergovernmental Affairs.
Madam President.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Gross presents Bill Number 961, Resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewage facilities plan for 905 Bingham Street. And Bill Number 962, Resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewage facilities plan for 716 Marlowe Street.
Thank you. And Councilman Kraus, Chair of Public Safety Services.
No new papers, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you.
And Councilman Lavelle, Chair of Finance and Law.
Madam President.
Thank you.
Councilman Lavelle presents Bill Number 939, Ordinance amending the Pittsburgh Code at Title II Fiscal, Article 7, Business-Related Taxes, Chapter 245, Earned Income Tax, Section 245.03, Declaration and Payment of Tax at subsection D so as to fix the rate of interest on delinquent earned income tax for the year 2023. Bill Number 940, Ordinance amending the Pittsburgh Code at Title II Fiscal, Article 7, Business-Related Taxes, Chapter 246, Home Rule Tax, Chapter 246.03, Declaration and Payment of Tax at subsection D so as to fix the rate of interest on delinquent home rule tax for the year 2023. Bill Number 941, Ordinance amending the Pittsburgh Code Title II Fiscal, Article 9, Property Taxes, Chapter 263, Real Property Tax and Exemptions, Section 263.02, Payment Options, Discount and Delinquency Penalty, so as to set the payment, discount, and delinquent dates for the 2023 fiscal year. Bill Number 942, Ordinance amending the Pittsburgh Code at Title II, Fiscal, Article 9, Property Taxes, Chapter 263, Real Property Tax and Exemptions by fixing the rate of real estate taxation for 2023. Bill Number 943, Resolution authorizing all city departments in conjunction with the Department of Finance to enter on behalf of the City of Pittsburgh into a facilities usage agreement during the 2023 calendar year for the purpose of permitting groups to rent city-owned facilities for recreational and community-focused activities in individual amounts not to exceed $10,000. Bill Number 944, Resolution authorizing the fee schedule for 2023 pursuant to Chapter 170 of the City Code. Bill Number 945, Resolution authorizing the City of Pittsburgh to participate in applicable cooperative purchasing agreements for goods, materials, equipment, supply services, or construction as authorized by the Commonwealth Procurement Code and the Pennsylvania Intergovernmental Cooperation Law for the 2023 fiscal year. Bill Number 946, Resolution providing for the letting of contracts and for the use of existing contracts for the purchase of materials, supplies, and equipment for city departments and the maintenance, repair, rental, and/or leasing, rehabilitation, renovation, inspection, or servicing of city buildings and facilities, and for any miscellaneous services in and for any city departments, and providing for the payment of the cost thereof for the 2023 fiscal year. Bill Number 947, Resolution adopting and approving the 2023 capital budget, the 2023 Community Development Program, and the 2023 through 2028 Capital Improvement Program. Bill Number 948, Resolution making appropriations to pay the expenses of conducting the public business of the City of Pittsburgh and for meeting the debt charges thereof for the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2023. Bill Number 949, Resolution fixing the number of officers and employees of the City of Pittsburgh for the 2023 fiscal year and the rate of compensation thereof, and setting maximum levels for designated positions. Bill Number 950, Resolution authorizing City Council to approve intra-departmental transfers throughout the 2023 fiscal year. Bill Number 951, Resolution amending Resolution 410 of 2022, which reappropriated Federal American Rescue Plan funding by updating the approved projects as outlined in Exhibit A, Version 4. Bill Number 952, Ordinance amending the Pittsburgh Code Title II, Fiscal, Article 5, Special Funds, Chapter 237, Stop the Violence Fund, 237.03, Uses and Restrictions of the Stop the Violence Fund, by changing the annual percentage budgeted for outside community-based non-governmental organizations. Bill Number 953, Resolution authorizing appropriations and salaries of the Stop the Fund Violence for the 2023 fiscal year, beginning January 1, 2023. Bill Number 954, Resolution authorizing appropriations, salaries, and capital expenditures of the Parks Trust Fund for the 2023 fiscal year, beginning January 1, 2023. Bill Number 955, Resolution providing for the sale of certain property acquired by the City of Pittsburgh at tax sales, items A and B, Item A, 3341 Milwaukee Street, and item B, 7317 Monticello Street. Bill number 956, resolution providing for the conveyance by the City of Pittsburgh of certain property having been placed for sale to adjoining property owners in conjunction with the City of Pittsburgh Side Yard Program, items A through R. 530 Janella Street, 4718 Monongahela Street, 238 Mansion Street, 1519 St. Patrick Street, 12 Quarry Street, 1232 Shady Crest Drive, 1024 Crucible Street, 1022 Crucible Street, 1204 Warlow Street, 0 Iton Street, 917 Morrison Avenue, 913 Morrison Avenue, 923 Morrison Avenue, 2450 Perrysville Avenue, 1234 Woodland Avenue, 2346 Atmore Street, 2348 Atmore Street, and 104 Pennsdale Street. Bill number 957, resolution providing for the creation of the Opioid Misuse Abatement Trust Fund and setting conditions for the deposit and expenditures from said trust fund.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. And Councilwoman Strasburger, Chair of Human Resources.
No new papers, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilwoman. And Councilwoman Strasburger again, Chair of Innovation, Performance, and Asset Management. Thank you. Just a short more time doing both of these. Thank you.
Councilperson Strasburger presents Bill number 963, resolution amending Resolution 824 of 2019, authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Innovation and Performance to enter into an amended agreement with B3 Solutions, Inc. for further provision of software maintenance and support services, the development of critical applications, and possible transition guidance for a sum not to exceed $1,929,321 until December 2023. And Bill number 964, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Office of Management and Budget to enter into an agreement or agreements with Healthy Outcomes, Inc., doing business as Balancing Act, for a suite of online tools to educate and engage citizens on budget priorities for a sum not to exceed $39,000 over 3 years.
Thank you. And Councilman Wilson, Chair of Land Use and Economic Development.
No new papers, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman. And myself, Chair of Hearings, I have one resolution. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Council President Teresa Kell Smith presents Bill number 965, resolution authorizing the mayor and the city clerk to enter into an agreement or agreement with the Dick's Sporting Goods Foundation for the purpose of receiving and spending grant funds in an amount of $90,000 to support youth groups programming in each council district.
Thank you. And we'll now move on to unfinished business, and I need a motion to approve, and I have two appointments to be approved. Madam Clerk? Thank you.
Bill number 827, resolution appointing Karen Garrett to serve as a member of the Housing Opportunity Fund Advisory Board for a term to expire April 30th, 2026. And Bill number 897, resolution appointing J. Parker Goolsby as a member of the Disruptive Property Appeals Board of the City of Pittsburgh for a term to expire December 31st, 2024.
Can I have a motion to approve?
To approve.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? And all in favor?
Aye.
The appointments are both approved. Thank you. And now we'll move on to our next order of business, which is reports of committee for final action. And we'll begin with Councilman Daniel Lavelle, Committee on Finance and Law.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Madam
Councilman. Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman Lavelle presents Bill number 934, reported to Committee on Finance and Law for November 9, 2022, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 870, resolution further amending Resolution 840 of 2019, effective January 1, 2020, as amended, entitled, Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2020 Capital Budget and the 2020 Community Development Block Grant Program, and the 2020 through 2025 Capital Improvement Program by reducing public safety training facility by $408,090 and increasing street resurfacing by $408,090. Bill number 884, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of Duquesne Light Company in an amount of $7,053.10 in settlement of a claim for damage to property and equipment near 458 Stenton Avenue from a city environmental services vehicle. Bill number 885, resolution authorizing an interdepartmental transfer in the amount of $200,000 from Department of Law salaries account to the Department of Law judgments account. The transfer is necessary to cover the costs of settlements through the end of 2022. Bill number 887, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of Thomas Fossick in the amount of $6,002.99 in settlement of a claim for damage to his vehicle from a city police vehicle on Greenfield Road in Shenley Park on January 23, 2022.
You've heard the reading of the title of the bills. Is there any discussion on the bills? Seeing none, the bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage will vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
No on 870, aye on all remaining bills, please.
Mr. Lavelle.
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Mrs. Kelsmith, President.
Aye.
8 ayes on bills 884, 885, and 887, and 7 ayes and 1 no on bill 870.
The bills having received the legally required number of votes are finally passed. And that moves us on to our next committee, which is Councilman Bruce Kraus, Committee on Public Safety Services.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Kraus presents Bill number 935, reported to Committee on Public Safety Services for November 9, 2022, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 883, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of public safety to enter into an agreement or agreements with the Federal Emergency Management Agency for the purpose of receiving and spending grant funds in the amount of $1,718,181.81, with a local match of $171,818.19 for the purchase of self-contained breathing apparatuses.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the title of the bills. Is there any discussion on the bills? Seeing none, the bills are ready for final action. All in favor of the passage will vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle.
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Mrs. Kelsmith, President.
Aye.
8 ayes, 0 noes.
Thank you. The bills having received the legally required number of votes are finally passed. And that moves us on to Councilman Anthony Coghill, Committee on Public Works.
Madam President.
Thank you.
Oh, I do, yeah.
Yes, let me see.
No, somebody stole it.
It may have been folded up in your intro. Councilman Coghill presents Bill number 936, reported to Committee on Public Works for November 9, 2022, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 882, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Public Works to enter into an agreement or agreements with the Hines Endowment for the purpose of receiving and spending grant funds in the amount of $2 million to support the construction of Homewood Field.
Thank you. And you heard the reading of the title of the bill. Is there any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage will vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle.
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Mrs. Kelsmith, President.
Aye.
8 ayes, 0 noes.
Thank you. The bill having received the legally required number of votes is finally passed. And that moves us on to Councilwoman Erica Strasburger, Committee on Human Resources.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Councilperson Strasburger presents Bill Number 937, reported to Committee on Human Resources for November 9, 2022, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill Number 888, resolution authorizing the mayor and the Director of Human Resources and Civil Service Commission to enter into an agreement with Willis Towers Watson for services related to supporting the city with development and negotiation of employee benefits that are provided to city employees for a sum not to exceed $1,288,000 over 4 years and for the payment of the cost thereof. Bill Number 889, resolution authorizing the mayor and the Director of Human Resources and Civil Service on behalf of the city of Pittsburgh to enter into a professional services agreement and/or contract with Public Sector Search and Consulting, Inc. for executive search and recruiting services for the city's police chief position and providing for the payment thereof at an overall cost not to exceed $80,000. Bill Number 890, resolution providing for the authorization to make all legitimate expenditures for payments and agreements with various agencies for job development and employment services necessary to implement the 2022 Neighborhood Employment Program and providing the periodic transfer of funds to be used in the 2022 Neighborhood Employment Program for payment of the cost not to exceed $150,000. Bill Number 891, resolution providing the authorization to make all legitimate expenditures for payments and agreements with various agencies to provide job development and employment services, wages, and fringe benefits for supervisor, staff workers' compensation, unemployment compensation, vocational skills training, and on-the-job training, outreach, recruitment costs, and administrative expenditures necessary to implement the 2022 Pittsburgh Partnership Employment Program and providing the periodic transfer of funds to be used in the 2022 Pittsburgh Partnership Employment Program and for the payment of the cost not to exceed $235,000.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the title of the bills. Is there any discussion on the bills? Seeing none, the bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage, vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle.
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Mrs. Kelsmith, President.
Aye.
8 ayes, 0 noes.
Thank you. The bills having received the legally required number of votes are finally passed. And Councilwoman Erica Strasburger, Committee on Innovation, Performance, and Asset Management.
Madam President.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Councilperson Strasburger presents Bill Number 938, reported to Committee on Innovation, Performance, and Asset Management for November 9, 2022, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill Number 892, resolution amending Resolution 526 of 2022, authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Innovation and Performance to enter into an agreement or agreements or amendments with Computronics USA, Inc., to extend the term on a month-to-month basis at an additional cost not to exceed $140,000. Bill Number 893, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Innovation and Performance to enter into an agreement or agreements and amendments thereto with Foster & Foster Consulting Actuaries, Inc., for a municipal pension contribution data system at a sum not to exceed $250,000. And Bill Number 894, resolution amending Resolution 817 of 2021, authorizing the mayor and the director of Innovation and Performance on behalf of the city of Pittsburgh to enter into an agreement or agreements or amendments thereto with the change agent training for access to their learning management system and consultative assistance to adapt the City of Pittsburgh Gold Belt Workshop for e-learning by increasing the not to exceed amount to $36,000.
You've heard the reading of the title of the bill. Is there any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage, vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle.
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Mrs. Kelsmith, President.
Aye.
8 ayes, 0 noes.
Thank you. The bills having received the legally required number of votes are finally passed. And that moves us on to motions and resolutions. And we have one small games of chance. Councilman Wilson, Madam Clerk. For Councilman Wilson, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Wilson presents Bill 975. Now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby recognize the new Pittsburgh Banjo Club and Music Preservation Society, informally known as the Pittsburgh Banjo Club, as a civic and service organization within the appropriate context of the Pennsylvania Small Games of Chance Act as amended.
Can I have a motion to read, receive, and file? Is that right?
No, it's a motion to approve.
I said read, receive, and file.
It is read, receive, and file? We do, but the motion is to approve, not read, receive, file.
So Madam Clerk said motion to read, receive, and file, so I'm going to go with that. Motion to read, receive, and file. I won't get it? So what, you think, what are you saying?
I think it is motion to approve.
I believe we can vote them down, or we can vote to approve them. So I believe the motion would be to approve, because if we all
Want a
vote
motion to
no, they
approve?
don't get it. So
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Well, I think we had the discussion. Thank you. And Madam Clerk, please make sure that we have that on our forms here, so we know in the future. With that said, we're going to go on to the meeting announcements. This afternoon at 1:30, Council will hold an executive session on Bill 886 as it relates to legal matters, and Bill 901 as it relates to rules of council. Tomorrow, Tuesday, November 15th, Council will hold the Standing Committees meeting at 10 a.m. Speaker registration will close at 9 a.m. Tuesday morning. Also, tomorrow at 1:30 p.m., Council will hold the 2023 budget overview and policy discussion. Is that chaired by you, Councilman Lavelle? Yes. Is that you? Okay. And Wednesday, November 16th at 10 a.m., Council's budget hearings will begin with the Department of Human Resources and the Department of Innovation, Performance, chaired by Councilwoman Strasburger, and the Department of Permits, License, and Inspections, chaired by Councilman Wilson. At 1:30 p.m., Council's budget hearings will continue with the Office of Management and Budget, chaired by Councilman Lavelle. Budget meetings will continue Thursday, November 17th at 10 a.m. with the URA, chaired by Councilwoman Gross, and City Planning, chaired by Councilman Wilson. All budget meetings will be streamed live via the City Channel Pittsburgh YouTube channel. And will they be also shown live on TV? Cablecast? And they'll also be cablecast because our amazing department fixed the problem they were having for covering our meetings. All budget meetings will be, okay, also, Thursday afternoon at 1:30 p.m., Council will hold a cablecast public hearing on Bill 2022-0795 as it relates to liquor license transfer for the Village Social Club. Speaker registration will close at 12 noon Thursday afternoon. To register to speak at the council meetings and public hearings, please fill out the sign-up form on the council meetings webpage by the deadline. You may also call the city clerk's office at 412-255-2138. Is there anything from members? Seeing none? Nothing? Seeing none, can I have a motion to excuse the absent member, approve the minutes, and adjourn the meeting? There is no absent member.
There is no motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Wait. Motion to approve the minutes and to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.